Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. This one is various types of infographics and visualizations that you could use to frame the contents of your work. First, there's a visual article. You would use visual article. This is a really lo-fi way to incorporate visuals into your work. Just think about this like it's a typical article that you're writing, like a blog post, etc., and it's just putting some visuals within it to sort of change it up a little bit. It is best used to cut down on the amount of text that you have within your article. It makes a regular, plain, vanilla, really heavily text-based article more interesting, and it helps to increase the sharing potential. People might see this visual flourish and go, oh wow, that's neat, let me share it with my friends and peers. Another one is a list, where you have different elements and you actually number them 1 through 3 in this instance. It could be much higher. Lists are used to support a claim that you're making through a series of steps. From that, it's best used to support a specific claim or argument. You'd make your claim at the top of the list and you go, I believe proposition X, and the reason I believe it is because of point 1, 2, and 3. And those points, the list would support your main argument. A map, you've all seen maps. This is a global map. You could have a country map, you could have a regional map, you could have a municipal city map. Maps showcase data trends based on location. This one compares some phenomenon from various parts of the globe. 5 of them, although it's missing point 3. It is best used to compare places and cultures via setting-centric data. So here you might be comparing these different continents about some phenomenon, and it's saying, this culture has, and this country has this thing happening at this point, and you just compare them based on their location. Another one is the versus, where here on the left is ABC, and on the right is 1, 2, 3. So you're comparing ABC to 1, 2, 3. And ideally, A would compare to 1, B would compare to 2, C would compare to 3. It compares two things in a head-to-head study. It is best used to highlight differences between two similar things. In contrast, highlight similarities between two unlike things, and prove one option is superior or inferior to the other. For the third point, you would most likely argue that the left side, ABC, is superior to the points in 1, 2, 3, which would be inferior. A flowchart. These are more complicated to do. Thought goes into all of them, but this one is a little bit more complicated because if the flowchart's not right, it becomes a bit messy. A flowchart provides a specialized answer to a question via reader's choices. So again, like a reader would look through this and make a choice. Like say for this one at the top, you might go from 1 to 2 to 5, you might go 1 to 3, you might go 1 to 4 to 6, etc. It is best used to provide personalized answers for readers and showcase how multiple situations can reach the same conclusion. Again, it shows a flow between different points through arrows connecting various elements of the flowchart. Timeline. Timeline tells a story through a chronological flow. Here, we in English read top to bottom, left to right. Here you start on the far left where that dot is on that timeline and go left to right. You'd see a point 1, then you go to point 2. On the bottom, you go up to point 3, go down to point 4, go up to point 5. And as you see, besides points 2, 3, 4, and 5, you can have text that kind of accommodates these various points to give more information about the timeline. Timeline is best used to show how something has changed over time. If you have a phenomenon that incorporates change, it's going to change most likely over time. It would make a long, complicated story easier to understand. Again, so like up above, instead of having one long story in one big paragraph, here this story is divided into 5 different parts of the timeline. And it shows how one thing leads to another. You start on the left in this one above, 1 leads to 2, leads to 3, leads to 4, leads to 5. To summarize, what type of infographic or visualization will you make? A visual article to make a more visual piece of writing, a list support your claim through trends, a map to show data trends based on location, versus to compare two things head to head, Flowchart, specialized answers via reader choices, and a timeline tells stories within a chronological flow. And finally, you might think, well, why is this type of infographic visualization you make important? It gives you a framework to fit your visualization within, and then so it helps you to organize your thoughts within a visualization form. And then secondly, it frames your content to help viewers understand, so that you actually, like say, probably the simplest example is a map. Everyone knows what a map is. Everyone after a couple of ages of life, most people could identify a map. When you see a map, you would know it deals with location-based phenomenon, and you just, for the one we saw, it has numbers. Oh, I made it compare location 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Alright, so that was your types of infographics and visualizations. Thanks for listening. I look forward to seeing you next time.